So hello and
Boa tarde, estamos ao vivo aí do Band Esportes.
UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup, the XCE, coming to you from Sao Paulo in Brazil, powered by City Mountainbike, bringing the mountain biking where the people are around the globe. This is round number 5 of this year's World Cup. My name's Matt Payne. I'm going to be putting words to the action all the way through today's racing. Fantastic to be in Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo, actually the Portuguese for St. Paul. It's the most populous city in Brazil, in the Americas, and in fact the Western and Southern Hemispheres, with 12 million residents. Originally home to the Tupi people on the River Tietê, it became a Portuguese settlement way back in 1554. Independent from Portugal in 1822 and a republic in 1889. Now the financial centre of Brazil and South America, and classified as an alpha global city. Alongside its industrial and financial heart, there's a big clean-up at work as well as some of the outputs of that. So things like the river being cleaned up. Now a tourist destination that flows right the way to the Atlantic in Buenos Aires, 450 kilometres to the south, because there's the coastal mountains in between. In fact, the city of Sao Paulo at 762 metres above sea level. And that means with an average temperature of about 25 degrees, 33 millimetres of rain in the month and 173 hours of sunshine, which use some fantastic, if not perfect, conditions for round number 5 of this City Mountain Bike powered XCE. In terms of those overall standings, well, the women's and men's race competitions in the standings overall, I've seen 2 leaders starting to push clear. In the women's competition, Marion Fromberger. In the men's competition, Jakub Klemenchik. Both putting in substantial points margins into the riders immediately behind them. And today they're going to have to take this track on to be able to take away top spot. So out from our start pens, over the cable ramp, and then through what is the finishing gantry, over the first small jump where you land. You've got to reset on the cable ramp, over the big platform, going over that big tabletop, then the smaller tabletop, round the wall ride, choice of 2 lines here, carry speed you can want to go on the outside, and over the tree roots, which are a real feature of this course. Lots of people having problems with these in practice and in our qualification time trial. We exit from the roots, we go up onto the wall of the buildings that you've seen in those camera shots. You go along the side, using it actually as a berm to get into the corner, through the team area and past the fantastic global village that is here. Lots of the teams, lots of people watching. A little diversion back out and round, and this is a particularly tricky section. You go up the ramp, off the concrete drop-off, you take the right-hand turn, you've then got to go back past the stage and onto our finishing straight, and this is the run for the finish. It's long, there's a cable ramp in the way to interrupt that power delivery as well, and that means that you're going to have skill, power, and be able to get that power down and get that power delivery all at the right time. The riders having to go through qualification, which is a time trial, and our starters from around the globe coming down. You can see the world champion stripes there on Edwin Lind, the rider from Europe, making his way down. Top 6 riders amongst many others in the World Cup standings in the men's competition. Top 3 riders and a number of other riders from outside making the trip down here in Portugal in Brazil to get here. Lots of riders from Brazil racing as well, which is fantastic to see. And as you can see, the results of the time trial on your screen. Now, when the riders go through the time trial, the top 16 riders go through, and as you can see, one big name on the right-hand side of your screen not qualifying to move on through is Simon Gegenheimer. Now, Gegenheimer came in today in 2nd place in the race series, in the World Cup overall, and he had chain problems out on course. That means he doesn't progress through, and these are the riders who will be heading off in your quarter-finals 4 quarterfinals, 2 riders going through from each of these 4 quarterfinals into our semi-finals. From the semi-finals, the 2 fastest riders go through to the main final to fight out for 1st to 4th, and from these semi-finals that follow this, you then have your 2 losers, or the 2 slower riders in each of those, going through to the minor final, and they'll be fighting out for 5th to 8th places. You can pick up all of the results on citymountainbike.com and the current series standings as they get updated on the way through. And don't forget, of course, that you can follow on social media, put the hashtag in as hashtag XCE World Cup. Edwin Lind, the world champion, going as number 1, the fastest rider in the time trial. And the rider's plate, that number that you see beside them, is an indication of how fast they were going. In that qualification, Lind going just 0.049 seconds faster than Lorenzo Ceres. Ceres going in heat number 3. So it's the second fastest of our riders. Third fastest of our riders, Jerome Van Eck, was only 1.08 of a second slower on the 1 lap time trial. But remember, they have 2 laps to do here today. 4th fastest rider, Diego Newman, he goes in the second of our heats. He was 1.379 seconds down, and our qualifiers all within 3 seconds of each other. As you can see, we've got our 4 riders down on the line, all waiting, ready to go. Lopez, Giovannini, Lind and Kokosi all lined up here. They've been given the 15-second go board, and it's any time in those next 15 seconds. Let's get the racing underway here at round number 5 of the XCE World Cup. So the whistle goes, away go the riders. Big quick sprint here is going to be critical over that speed bump. You can just see that slight interruption there in that power delivery. They take that right hand turn there, and at the moment you can see, I think that is a nice move going off the front here by Lopez. The number 9 rider goes in tight. All the riders taking the left hand side of the tree. You can see the dust being kicked up as they come through the trees. The drone fighting to keep up with the speed of these riders today. The sun is shining, the dust is being blown, and you can see the pace as they dive through. The charges on here, the world champion holding second wheel, move going on the inside there. Kokosi trying to make his way up into 3rd place, but at the moment the front still being led out by Lopez, and you can see there's been an incident, I suspect, between 3rd and 4th there. They've had a bit of a tangle because they have been taken back. You saw that move being made at the side of the building. Lynn looks over his shoulder. He knows he can just ease back off here. Smart rider. They come round, end of lap 1. Lopez is going to go through, then it's going to be Lind. Lopez, the Colombian rider here, very quickly up onto that big platform, up over the tabletop, over number 2 here. Lind is doing the same, but you can see Lind really has eased off. They're going to make their way in around, and of course you can just see that incident just occurring just between the buildings. Lopez on his way down over those tree roots, making his way around the twists and turns here. He's taking a look over his shoulder. This is the section as they came down here. This is where we saw that move being made between 3rd and 4th place of riders. And that was Giovannini and Kokosi as they came in through. Of the 2, Giovannini has picked himself up fastest. He went over the line at 19.44 seconds. Currently in 3rd place behind Lind and behind Lopez. But at the moment, Lind very circumspect, saving a lot of energy here, waiting for the time to attack and to really put that power down later. They go down past that start ramp. The riders for our next heat, Newman we've got Luis Kokosi rather than Giuliano Kokosi, along with Zagal and Fierro. But coming over the line, taking victory, Fernando Lopez takes the win from Edwin Lind. And they're the first 2 riders. A handshake here, they exit the race route, and they will be going through. So Lopez and Lind moving through. Kokosi and Giovannini taken out of the competition, and I think taking each other out on that section. The fastest rider back up, Giovannini, who just comes in over the line. Our next rider's being ready to go. You can see Fierro, the first rider, on the left-hand side there. Second rider from the left is Newman, and then you have Kokosi, Luis Henrique Kokosi, followed by big hitter and very fast rider Matic Kraniak Zagar. Zagar at the moment 10th in the series standings, 16th in round 2, 5th in rounds 3 and 4. Can he get himself through to those semi-finals? The riders primed, ready. They need this explosive start to be really effective here. And Zagara's got pushed right to the back of the group of four here. Big kickoff from the line here. So Kokosi in the white here with that number 5 plate on right alongside Newman in the black. Now Zagara makes his move. He moves up alongside here. He's going to try and push alongside Eric Fiera as they go down that straight and head out round the turn. Into the trees they come, and you can see at the moment the lead, well, it is with Luis Kokosi of Brazil. He's got the front position, 2 riders through. Newman holding that 2nd place, and there's not a lot of room to overtake down here. I think these 4 riders perhaps learning from the previous quarter-final that that's not the place to make the move. Expect to see Zagara putting a big sprint down the finishing straight. They just track around the turn through the village. They're into these trees, taking a tight line off from that concrete to drop off, and now this is where they've got to get the power down. But look at this, the power is well and truly going down. Kokosi and Newman. Kokosi has time to look over his shoulder. He's got some distance as well. Now Zagara starts to make another move on Eric Fierro of Ecuador. The Ecuadorian being pushed down into 4th place. Zagara whipping it up over the top there, making sure he can defend that place, using the bike to obstruct the rider behind. It's not against the rules if you do it in the air and you don't touch anybody and take anybody off. He's used it to good effect, but my goodness, he's running out of road, running out of room, running out of track, and running out of this course to make his move into the top 2. He's in 3rd place. Newman knows he's in danger. He's looking over, and now Zagara makes his move on the left-hand side. He comes in tight. Oh, he can't make it stick. He goes down. He takes out the 4th place rider as well, Fierro, and the Slovenian rider Zagara makes his move in desperation. 2 of our quarterfinals. Anybody who tells you that mountain biking is a non-contact sport, they have not seen mountain bike Eliminator. Over the line they go. It's going to be given, I think, to Diego Newman in the black there. Luis Kokosi of Brazil, his countryman, going over 0.08 of a second later. So that turn on the way in, that move, Zagara threw everything at it, including his bike. They ended up in the barriers. He couldn't go onwards. Fierro and Zagara making their way over the line, but the pair of them eliminated from the race in here. Newman and Kokosi going through, and you can see the pair tangling on the floor. The riders who were 12th and 13th in the time trial, very, very close on time in that 1-lap time trial, and at the moment, very close coming up. They are actually separated by 0.03 of a second in that time trial, so no surprise to see them tangle. So the next is heat number 3 of our quarterfinals. Rezende from Brazil on the left, Klemenchik, the series leader with the white and red. On second across, Ceres, the winner of the last round. And then on the right-hand side, you can see Furkan Akam in here. Akam currently lying 18th in the series. He's a regular top 10 rider. What can he do today? Can he break into the main final? Will he make it into the minor final? You can see already big push coming out straight from the line here. The Brazilians really firing on all cylinders here on home turf in Sao Paulo at altitude 762 meters up. Taking that right-hand turn, absolutely flying today as they come down here, and the ability to get that power down critical. And our series leader under pressure here. Move being made on his right-hand side coming into that turn. It has not stuck, but the pressure is well and truly on here. Lorenzo Ceres is desperate to get through to the final. Ceres 4th in the series coming in to this round, 149 points. He was tied on points with Jerome Van Eck in that 3rd and 4th place spot. Then he has to get up. The problem is he's got series leader Klemenchik to go round. They've both got to get round number 10. And that is your rider here from Brazil, that is Rezende, and it looks like both of them achieve it on that straight, going down the straight that time round. So series leader Klemenchik moves right the way up into the lead here on heat number 3 of 4. And what can the riders from Brazil and Turkey do after the Turkey? Rezende of Brazil chasing our leaders, and you can see Lorenzo Ceres wants to get well down the course here. He does not want to get put under pressure. He doesn't want to be taken out on a run, and you see them take that right-hand turn at the side of the building, round the side here of the start ramp. They go do a loop here, a lollipop loop. You can see just about make them out going in through the trees here as they come round. Lind Well, he was through in one, and we saw Zagar go out in two, Ceres and Klemenchik go through in three here. So the big riders in the series certainly having mixed fortunes here. Series leader Klemenchik goes through. Ceres, the rider tied for points in third position in the series overall, goes through second here. And Renato Rezende and Furkan Akam eliminated from the competition. 3 of our 4 quarterfinals are done. This is a quarterfinal number 4. Now, Jeroen van Eck is there with the rainbow bands as a former world champion. He's second from the left. Gasper on the left. Van Eck second from the left. Eddie Karoli and Molnar, the Romanian, second from the right. And Bruno Silva out on the right-hand side here. 2 through. 2 will not be progressing. Which 2 are going to be which? Time to find out. Oh, twitchy moves on the start line there. You just saw Gasper really just having to be pulled back there, not getting that timing right, and that's upset his start here. He saw how critical it was. Jeroen van Eck putting down the power as he went through there, and right on the limit actually as he went over that cable ramp. You can see he is leading out at the moment. So Van Eck, Molnar, the riders on the way through here. Molnar with that blue jersey on. The rider from Romania, Jeroen van Eck, with the Netherlands national champions jersey, the red, white and blue. He goes through immediately though behind Molnar. They are queuing up to have a go. Silva and Gaspar both in touch, both in contention as they take that turn into the trees, round over the tree roots, up over this little ramp, the drop down off the concrete. All these little obstacles are a possibility that there's going to be an incident. There's going to be a problem with the bike. That's how we saw problems for Gegenheimer, the rider line in second place in the series. And Van Eck and Ceres know that this is their chance to score points and move above Gegenheimer and Ceres. Oh, and a big mistake by Molnar on the ramp there. He went over the top of the tabletop. It all went wrong. He landed on the front wheel. He couldn't keep the control. That has put him down onto the floor here. So Eddie Karoli Molnar is being eliminated from the race, and that was all to do with the landing. Van Eck has stayed out of trouble. The chase is on behind, and Gasper and Silva now are going to be thanking their lucky stars that they didn't get tangled up in that as they come around the turn into the trees. 2 riders going through. Van Eck is going to be assured of that. Gaspar holding second place at the moment. Silva in third place. Big look over the shoulder from Gaspar. He looks behind him. He's going to go through. So will Van Eck. Silva not able to make it stick this time round. Bruno Silva waves to the crowd not to be his day today, but he's in better shape than Eddie Karoli Molnar, who hit the deck and has to pick himself back up again. Wow, packed, incident-filled set of quarterfinals here in Sao Paulo. We're just going to take another look again at that. You know, I can see the aftermath there as he goes in. It's gone into the double into that tabletop, and I'm not sure he didn't just get a slight nudge on the way through, a little mistake by somebody beside him, and that is all it takes to put riders down onto the floor. So that was our quarterfinals in the men's competition. We're going to move on to our women's semi-final here today. Now, riders already being lined up on that start line. Now, with Santos on the left, De Vries, the second from the left, the world champion Maria Sukapalova, the rider who put the fastest time down in that women's competition. As we get the confirmed results on our screens of the men's quarterfinals, they'll be moving through those riders with the queue: Lopez, Lind, Klemenchik, Ceres, Newman, Kokosi, along with Van Eck and Gaspar, the 8 riders who move forward into the men's semi-final. Well, great news for Maria Sukapalova during the week. She's going to be really buoyed inside by the Sicaria team. So the Sicaria BB Pro team signing up Maria Sukapalova, the world champion, the Ukrainian rider, signing for that team and getting that support. And that's why it's just so important to go take the racing out. And these are the riders who survived to contest and finish the time trial. There were plenty of incidents during those time trials. Sukapalova with the fastest time, 0.9 of a second faster there as they came through. 1.53 of a second back. Marion Fromberger in third place, with Didi De Vries in fourth. And then a gap back to Santos, Lindolfo, Beck, Kokosi and Apollinario finishing off the riders in and round. The top 8 riders from that time trial going through to the semi-finals. Marcela Lima, the rider from Brazil, a definite challenge here. Started racing back in 2017, 2 times an American Continental champion in the second place in the Continental Championship, in the XCE, up against some very strong competition in the racing. But Maria Sukapolova, the world champion, up against De Vries, Kokosi, along with Santos. Now, Kokosi also had issues in the time trial. She fell in that time trial, and that put her down into 8th position. Promised a lot, the American Continental champion. Can she deliver now as they head out on to the course? The 15 seconds to go board is shown. Our riders readied. It's time to go racing here in Sao Paulo. Our women's competition, the first of the head-to-head battles is getting ready to unfold. The whistle goes. Didi De Vries in the red, white and blue. The national champions jersey worn by Vanek in the preceding quarter-final, worn by De Vries here in the semi-final. She's ahead of Maria Sukapolova. Sukapolova putting in some fantastic rides in the competition. She's taken a win, not as consistent as Fromberger. Didi De Vries on superb form here, a 5th and 3 4th places in the 4 rounds of the World Cup so far, making those main finals of 4 riders on the last 3 rounds and really improving, really taking away an improvement on the preceding season. At the moment, though, the Continental champion of the Americas pressurizing the world champion. 2nd place, it is the world champion. 3rd place at the moment, the Continental champion from the Americas. This is all about getting that pressure down, getting the pace down. Kokosi, very strong rider, now makes a move on the side here with that number 8 plate. Goes up onto the front of Sukapolova, and Didi De Vries has gone from 1st to 3rd and has got washed right the way down into that danger zone. And the rider she has to pass is the world champion. So great riding by Luisa Kokosi. Rode the Junior Road World Championships in 2010. She was 5th in the national road race. She's been riding mountain bikes for a long time as well. She's been multiple-time XCO and XCE champion. She's the current American Continental champion, and she's showing just why she's such a force to be reckoned with, going on to the front into number 1 on that straight as they came off from that turn. And at the moment, the rider from Brazil leading this through from Sukapolova, from De Vries, from Santos. Santos now is going to have to fight to get back on to those wheels at the moment. Can she make it back? She's been riding lots of the national championships and the national series, but she's not going to make it. Didi De Vries disappointed not to make it through into those finals, but such strong home riders here. Sukapolova, the world champion, now running for her new teams to carry a BB Pro team. What a first outing, and that development of the sport you can see with that investment being put in. And of course, it's great to see. It's where we were for the last round of the World Cup from Sakarya as well. Sukapolova taking the win from Kokosi, making the way in through in 1 and 2. Didi De Vries eliminated the national champion of the Netherlands, not making it through to the major finals. She will be disappointed with that. 2 riders through to the major finals, 2 riders going through to the minor finals. She won't be in that top 4 this time around. Now, our series leader, Marion Fromberger, never been lower than 2nd this season. 2 seconds into Chambly and Leuven, a 1st in Ireland and in Sakarya for Fromberger. Up against the youngster Beck, looking for a breakthrough here today. She needs to finish. They've got the danger woman there. That is Marcela Lima, and that is going to be a false start. There was a noise off the side of the track there, and they're going to do a reset. Always difficult to do when you get that reset. Now, the rider Marcela Lima, twice a World Cup winner. A fantastic win out at Hedera Island around the Orpheus Bike Shop out in Abu Dhabi. Was her first win. She claimed her first victory there. She's taken 2. Can she make this number 3? She's up against Fromberger. Beck at the moment in 3rd place, and it's going to be a tough ask for Beck to go through to the main finals. She has secured by making it into this round, into the semi-finals. If she can finish the minor finals, and that's not always that straightforward, she will have moved herself up into the top 10, I think, with an 8th position provisionally, dependent on what happens in the other riders. But I think Beck will be rewarded for the trip to Brazil and making it through to this stage into the semi-finals with a top 8 in the series overall, and that is going to be a good reward. But she would dearly love to be in that main finals, but she's got to get round Fromberger, she's got to get round Lima at the moment. Marcelo Lima Matos, the rider at the front of this race, takes that left-hand turn, comes in here. This is coming towards the end of lap number 1, and our series leader, Marion Fromberger, I think, being very calm, cool and collected about this. Meanwhile, behind Stephanie Lindolfo, the rider in 4th place with Beck at the moment. And I think there's an acknowledgement by Lindolfo along with Beck that they're going to be racing in the minor finals for 5th to 8th, and a little bit of an easing off of the pressure there. Stephanie Lindolfo taking top spot in the Enduro National Championships in 2024. She took a bronze medal, a 3rd place in the National Championships in the downhill. A talented multi-mountain bike discipline rider, riding downhill, riding Enduro, and taking medals in that. Riding on the XCE, the shortest of the mountain bike formats, with the repeated rounds today, and into those semi-finals, but she'll be into that minor final. Meanwhile, the series being led out by the rider who put down that fantastic time in the time trial, taking 2nd in the time trial. Marcela Lima at the front here from Marion Fromberger, Lindolfo and Beck 3rd and 4th, and it's going to be these 2 riders who are going to put their names on the start line, on that start sheet. The high fives going out to the crowd here, the crowd packing the sides of this course here in Sao Paulo and being treated to some spectacular racing and to some absolute class riders. The 2 riders going through, it is going to be Lima and Fromberger, who joined Sukapolova and Kokosi in the final, in the main final for 1st to 4th. The riders who don't make it through, well, that is going to be De Vries, Santos, Lindolfo and Beck. And they will want to take the maximum number of points that they can, particularly Didi De Vries, who, as they came in to today, was lying in 4th place in the 3rd place in the standings. She will want to maximise her points ahead of her Sukapolova and Fromberger in 2nd and 1st place in those standings respectively. Let's move across to the men's semi-finals. You can see the 8 riders who have qualified to make it this far and to have a chance to decide whether they're going to be in the main final or in the minor final. Lind, Newman, Kokosi and Lopez in the first of our semi-finals. The second semi-final, Series Van Eck, Klemenchik and Gaspar. They're going to be hitting the course here in Sao Paulo in Brazil, the biggest city in Brazil. 12 million people, and there's a fair few on the side of the course today. The 15-second board goes across. The riders ready themselves for this kick-off. Edwin Lind, the big engine, has been beaten off the line, as we've seen already today. What's going to happen now as they go here in the semi-final? Away they go. Lind puts the pressure down. He does not want to get caught behind Newman. He tangles there. He was shoulder to shoulder with Lopez. He managed to extract themselves without hitting the deck there. But at the moment you can see the speed that they're carrying. You can't afford to overjump either of these 2. Carry too much pace and speed. And that is one of the subtleties that's really hard to show as these riders come through. Too much speed can be as dangerous as not enough speed on these obstacles, and that is a key skill when you're mountain biking, when you're out on the trails, when you're on the tracks, when you're out racing, when you're riding. If you go too quick into something, you can find yourself in major problems out on the back of the course. We're down 1 rider already as they make their way into this turn. So we're now down to 3 riders in contention, and as they come round that turn, they're going to be led out by Lind. Right on his heels is Lopez. They're going to go down the straight, and you can see at the moment it's Kokosi who's having to take a bit of a move around the outside. He's going to push, he's carrying momentum up alongside Lopez. They're side by side. This is who's going to be brave, who wants it the most. Kokosi goes in front. Newman is the rider who has been distanced, who had that problem out in the woods. He's not been able to get round. He comes through the line 50 seconds down on these three leaders, but at the moment the rider in trouble is going to be Kokosi, Lind, Lopez, Kokosi. Kokosi moves up, he's moved up into position on that big jump. He's still not out of the danger zone though, because right behind him you can see Lopez is pushing now. Lopez tees himself up coming into the woods. He knows he's going to have to carry momentum out from this corner. He needs a little bit of room to run onto the wheels. He's tight on the wheels of Kokosi. Lind is going to go through in the front, and that turn around the corner, Kokosi makes himself wide through the narrow gap there, and a shake of the head from Lopez. He will be going through into the minor final in that fight for 5th to 8th places, along with Diego Newman, so long as he can get himself back onto the race route. But great riding there by Lind at the front, showing why he is world champion, putting the power down, keeping out of trouble. Kokosi having to go round the hard way. A great move by him. Now this is down in the woods on those tree roots. Oh, and you can see that tangle just off to the side of the camera shot there. The tree roots here, one of the key features in Sao Paulo. Just lost it as the front wheel just got caught up, hooked up on the tree roots. It went sideways. That flipped him over the bars. Not to be his day. I'm sure he'll pick himself back up from that, although they are carrying a lot of speed at that point. So going through from the first of our men's semi-finals into the minor final, Lopez and Newman. Going into the battle for 1st to 4th, Lind and Kokosi. Who will be joining them of the riders to go in our second semi-final? Ceres, Van Eck and Klemenchik. Quick reminder, Ceres 4th in the series overall, Van Eck 3rd in the series overall, and Klemenchik 1st in the series overall. Gegenheim is out. This is the opportunity to get some big points, mixing it up with them. Gabriel Gaspar with that great ride to come through into these semi-finals. He's right out on the right-hand side. What can he do? Klemenchik on the left. Ceres a second from the left. Van Eck with that red, white and blue jersey. And then on the outside, it's Gaspar. Time to go racing here. Second of our men's semi-finals. Long hold for the riders. Klemenchik, Ceres, Van Eck, Gaspar. The 15-second board goes. They know that it's some time, and this is now down to the commissaries, the race referees, who make sure the racing is all fair and that the riders abide by the rules. Well, really making the nerves jangle, holding them for a long time. Ceres gets the best start off from the line there. Big kick around the outside by Gaspar. Gaspar looking to put Van Eck in trouble. They've put Klemenchik, the series leader, in trouble, and they've deposited him down into 4th position. Klemenchik whips it up over the top of the first of the tabletops there. Van Eck is leading. Ceres moving on the right-hand side. Ceres looking like he was trying to make a move down through here. He's keeping Van Eck under pressure. Behind him, the rider Gaspar in 3rd place from Brazil, the Slovenian. Klemenchik in 4th place. Van Eck, Ceres, Gaspar, Klemenchik. The riders come steaming on through here, and they know 2 through to the main final. That's where the biggest points are in these heats. 60, 40, 30, 25, 20 points. They are the points coming down, and that gap between 25 and 20 points is the difference between being in the minor final and taking the win and being in the main final and taking 4th. Ceres goes over the top of Van Eck. It's his turn up on the front here. Look alongside by Gaspar. Gaspar tries to see if he can make a move around the side. He knows the danger of carrying too much speed in. He's seen riders come down. Klemenchik just doesn't know what to do here. I don't think he wants to risk going around the outside, and Klemenchik has an issue here. Klemenchik is going to be out of this race at the moment. I think that was a drive chain issue. He came, up there, the chain had to go back on the back. He lost all momentum. The series leader will be going into the minor final. Who will be joining him in there at the moment? It's looking like Gaspar may well have resigned himself to going through into that minor final. He's going to need something to go wrong in this final turn, this loop around in the trees here, and it's looking like Van Eck along with Ceres. Ceres leading out here, are going to go through cleanly. They put the power down just to be safe as they go over. That's a ramp underneath the gantry. Ceres takes the win there in the semi-final from Jerome Van Eck. both heats very close on time. Both of our semi-finals, 142.69 in semi-final number one that saw Lind and Kokosi go through, 142.3, fractionally faster there, so they went in and through because it was Ceres and Van Eck going through, Gaspar and Klemenchik, the riders, not making it through to the finals. So fantastic to see that racing. The screens will do a little bit of an update there, because it was Ceres on the front who went through with Van Eck in that second of our semi-finals, and that shows you just how fast it was. There we go. No sooner said than done. The update goes through live here in Sao Paulo in Brazil. You can see this immense city on the banks of the River Tietê, the main artery, the main waterway going through, but a whole myriad of waterways here. So in Sao Paulo for round 5 of the UCI Mountain Bike Eliminator World Cup, you can see the minor finals. That is the women's and men's, and then the main finals coming up. The main final, the one for 4th to 1st, 5th to 8th, being decided by the minor finals. First at the women's minor final, then the men's minor final, then it'll be our women's final, and then the men's final. Still to come here as we are making our way through the World Cup Series, making our way around the globe. The round number 1 in Dushanbe and Tajikistan, an amazing venue to kick off the action. Leuven for round 2 in Belgium, Ireland in Germany for round 3, Sakarya in Turkey for round 4, Sao Paulo in Brazil, where we are right now for round 5. Round 6 will be in Barcelona in Spain, one of our traditional series closers. So this, the battle for 5th to 8th place. De Vries down in this once again. She'll want to take 5th and take those points. Santos in here. Lindolfo wanting to mix it up, and the youngster back looking to score some good points, making it to the minor final. She's made it up through the standings by managing to get to this stage. The question is, what can she do here today? She wants to put on a great show. She was welcomed so warmly by this city in Sao Paulo, a real ambassador for the sport, and a great inspiration just at the moment at university herself, and one of our younger riders. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how she progresses as we go onwards. Didi de Vries leading out at the moment, the Netherlands champion leading as they go through. Santos and then Becca, Lindolfo just at the back of this group as they go into the woodland. Gaps just starting to open up, and remember, this is not about being second, this is not about not being 3rd or 4th, this is about taking the win here today, back on the wheels of De Vries. And remember, these riders have already raced multiple times already. They take the tight left-hand turn, and at the moment, Santos holding 2nd wheel. Beck will want to move up. Beck wants to be into that position to challenge here, and Lindolfo at the moment with a little bit of room to run on at the as they come through. Santos starting to push. Didi de Vries here making a little bit of a move. Has she got the power to go around the woman from the Netherlands? She has here. Great move there by Angelina Santos from Brazil. So Santos moving up, started racing in 2025 this year. She's already raced multiple international races, XCO. She's raced downhill as well. Absolute fantastic rider, and in your first season to go around the top of an experienced rider like Didi de Vries, who started racing mountain bikes back in 2015, it shows you just what a talent they have on their hands here in Brazil, with Santos moving it over the top of De Vries as they went into lap 2. She's holding it here on lap 2. They've gone clear of Beck and Lindolfo. They are in what will be 3rd and 4th in this race. You can see the shouts coming on from the side of the course here. Santos starts to open up the gas. The De Vries goes on the side. De Vries has the power. She's got the stamina. She goes over the line. She will take 1st place in this race, and I think the chain is off there. Santos has lost the chain on the way through, and that shows you, would that sprint have been closer if that chain had stayed on to the end? Possibly. Didi de Vries though shown all of that experience, taking away 1st place in the race. That translates as 5th place overall. Santos taking second, which is 6th, and then Beck taking 3rd, which will translate as 7th place overall here in the 5th round of the World Cup. And then the 4th place in that race, that is Stephanie Lindolfo, coming through 8 seconds behind the winning time of 1:59.77 seconds for Didi de Vries. Lindolfo rounding out the small final and rounding out the top 8 in today's round of the World Cup, with of course the women's main final still to come, with the riders battling it out for 1st to 4th place. So that's the women's minor final done and dusted. The riders now get to, if not to relax, at least to warm down whilst watching the race action and see who is going to be battling the riders that they would dearly have loved to be in with. Well, Jakub Klemenček there trying to make sure he's got everybody on his side as he heads out here. We've got Lopez on the left, Newman heads alongside him, and sandwiched between Lopez and Klemenček. Klemenček is the red jersey across the middle of that white shoulders. That is a series leader. Gaspar on the far right-hand side here. A real mix of titles, a real mix of abilities, and a real mix of experience here that Klemenček, I think, would be very sore not to take away the points here. He came in to the round 5 with a gap of 93 points from Simon Gegenhammer. His nearest challenger was eliminated in the qualification stage in the time trial. Klemenček has been deposited into the minor final. The best he's going to get here is 5th. It is leaving the door open somewhat for Van Eck and Lorenzo Series to close the gap back down again. The question is, can they do that here today? Well, we're going to wait to find out when we go on to that main final. At the moment, Klemenček starting to stretch that gap out. Diego Newman, Gabriel Gaspar and Fernando Lopez, the riders still in the battle as they come round at the moment. The Colombian rider in 4th place. 3rd place is Gaspar. 2nd place Newman leading them through. Jakub Klemenček goes through 52 seconds for that first lap out on the course. Whips it up over the top. I tell you something, cool as a cucumber. He's done that on every single lap that we've seen. We saw him doing it a lot in practice. Really enjoying himself. A happy rider is a fast rider, and it shows he's back. He's put that disappointment behind him, but what can Newman do? Can Diego Newman spoil Klemenček's party? Well, partying over the big tabletop might not work today, but it's looking good for Klemenček. He's going to have to defend his position. He's a canny rider. He knows how to ride. He's tried all the moves himself in the past. He was known for putting in some interesting manoeuvres at times in the past. He hasn't needed to so much recently. Newman makes a move up on the inside of that right-hand turn. He can't get past him. He loses speed, and look at the power of Klemenček on that final sprint. He waves to the crowd, and he can only think what could have been if it made that final. Not to be today. Klemenček goes through, taking the win in the minor final from Newman as they went in and through the line. Looking for the handshake and that great sportsmanship that we see from mountain biking time and time again, evident here today. Klemenček goes through to the 5th place, taking the win. 6th place overall for Diego Newman, taking 2nd place in the minor final. Gabriel Gaspar putting in a great ride, taking 3rd and really in close attendance most of the way round there, just losing contact on that last lap. He will take away 7th from the round overall, with Fernando Lopez, the rider who rounds out that race. 8th place overall in the World Cup in round 5 at Brazil, with Klemenček's time a 1 minute 44.89 seconds. Time to move on to our major finals. This is for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, those spots on the podium, and the 4th place here today. Big points on offer. Marion Fromberger will want them, but what can Maria Sukapolova do about it? Fromberger leading from Sukapolova, from De Vries, from Beck. We've just seen De Vries in there. She's not challenging. The 2 riders sandwiched in between these riders. You can see the world champion is in there, Sukapolova. You can see, though, the pressure coming on from Fromberger, and at the moment, the America's Continental champion, that is Luisa Kokodi, being pushed back. Lima right on to the pace here very quickly indeed, but the pressure is well and truly on, because Fromberger She was taking it a little easier early on, I'm not so sure, but my goodness, look at the face of Fromberg. She went through there, putting the power down, known for her power, her speed. She's going to use every one of these straights, and she's got a gap on Sukapalova. Sukapalova had to fight her way in and really was looking strong, but at the moment she's got to pick up some pace here. The rider with those rainbow bands, the iconic UCI World Champion rainbow bands on there, goes through. At the moment, she's got no answer to the power of Fromberg. Look at the gap Fromberg has opened up at the end of lap number 1. There was air between them. Now Sukapalova puts in a charge. Has she saved something special? She goes around the outside of Fromberg, and Matos is looking to do the same. Marcela Lima Matos goes on the outside there. What can Marcela do? The Brazilian woman pushing the world champion, pushing Fromberg, but she's still in third place. She's thrown everything at it at the moment. And Kokosi doing the same as well. Kokosi and Matos both are trying to move up. What can Kokosi do about this? Can Kokosi go round in these woods? We see desperate moves at desperate times. Nobody can seem to get past on this section. It's narrowed down the side of the building. These chicanes making it difficult. But at the moment, the lead has been taken by the world champion. She took it going down the straight. She put the power down. She's gone to the front. What a way to sign off on your first race for your brand new Sakaria BB Pro team. The Ukrainian takes the win here. It is Maria Sukapalova, the world champion, who goes over the line. Number 1 in the time trial, number 1 in the race. She takes that, and you can just see that run in over the line. Absolutely flat out here today. Sukapalova from Fromberg. I think it's going to be from Kokosi, but we're going to get a double check on there on the line as they came in through. Kokosi clearly not happy with her position here today. So Sukapalova, and then Fromberg, then Lima, then Kokosi. The order as they came in and over the line here today. And that means that Sukapalova will have narrowed the gap to Fromberg down. It makes it her second win in the World Cup. Both riders with 2 wins. You can see here Marianne Fromberger, 2 wins, 2 second places. Sukapalova, 2 wins now, but not to be her day. I think in the World Cup at the end of this, because I think Fromberger has done enough now to hold this. You could just see there that Fromberger really putting the power down. Big hugs for the Sakaria team rider. That is Sukapalova, the world champion, taking away the win. Some big hugs going out there from the riders, and a fantastic battle out on the course. Great to see these riders fighting it out, and close racing is what Mountain Bike Eliminator is all about. We'll have our top 3 riders on the podium a little bit later on today down in venue, and hopefully we'll be getting some words from Maria Sukapalova, a rider who really did pivot her season from XCO, the Olympic almost hour and a half discipline, to the super short, super fast XCE, when she went out and raced and was flying in the early season, and then took that world title in Sakaria. Well, the world title there went to Edwin Lind, the man with the number 1 plate on fastest man in the time trial, up against Lorenzo Serres with the number 2 plate on the left-hand side of the world champion on your screen. Away they go. They've got the Netherlands national champion, and problems for Serres. I think that is the chain that has gone. Mechanical issue. It's come off. Lorenzo Serres in a position here to challenge, score big points in the series. He was in 4th place, tied with Lind. He would want to be right up there. Lind today is going to profit the most from that, I suspect, as he goes in and through from the issues that have affected the series leader Klemenchik and Gegenheimer. Van Eck and Lind now both racing to gain maximum points here today. It's Lind on the front, puts the pressure down. Then it's going to be Van Eck immediately behind him as they come around. Luis Kokosi is the rider in 3rd place, and at the moment that means he's now in a position to get onto that podium. Will he throw more out? He's getting told to push up, to move up here. He'd dearly love to take 2nd place. He's got to go around the powerhouse is Jerome Van Eck. You can see Lind there, the rainbow bands on his jersey, and look at that, not going over of flips it to the side. I think he had his head down before he saw that jump there. There's nothing in the rules to say you can't go around it. He was very clearly up and in position. I don't think he wanted to do that, but that was the result because he had his head down. You can see he's really on the absolute edge here, just about keeping it under control, and he lost momentum going over the tree roots. If you're smooth over there, hit it with power and speed, but lift over the top, you're going to carry more speed. That has been a real issue. He's just lost the power, he's lost the momentum. Kokosi comes up on his wheel, so has Van Eck here. It's short here, it's a real desperate run. You can see the shouts coming from Didi de Vries to Jerome Van Eck, to Evan Lind and to Kokosi. Lind opens up as he comes down the straight here. Lind pushes his way to the line, he takes victory. World Cup win for Evan Lind. He's had a second place, that's been his best so far. He takes a win here today. Brilliant ride as they came in and through Kokosi and Van Eck. They are going to round out your podium here today. But Lorenzo Serres only just finishing his first lap as we saw the riders come through to finish their second here at the Mountain Bike Eliminator, the XCE World Cup. An absolutely brutal race here. And this is a real battle to the line, and that's what we've seen here today. And you can see the big quick drinks going down to try and rehydrate as fast as is possible here today. Very, very much needed. Our two world champions down there. Let's take a little bit of a look back. Lorenzo Serres kicked off, and you can see his foot came out and that chain came off the chainring at the front. Mechanical issue as he kicked off from the line. That took Serres out of contention. He will take fourth place because he'll make his way in and through. It does mean that he will still score 25 points. So that has dropped him down, but not to be today. So Lind from Kokosi, from Jerome Van Eck. Van Eck they're just getting congratulated by Marion Fromberger. Fromberger, the series leader, and the women's series leader having a great day at the office, going in, riding through and into a podium position. Klemenchik, the series leader, coming in, not able to make that main final, and indeed having problems in the minor final. Evan Lindo now stopping the world champion at 1:42.78 the time for the men's final here today. Kokosi at 0.43 of a second, 2 seconds, 2.57 seconds down, sorry, as he went through. Lorenzo Serres making his way over the line at the end of the first lap as the riders came through. Technically at one lap is the mountain bike definition of that. The cameras are ready though, because we're going to try and get a word with both of our winners here today, with our women's winner Maria Sukapolova. What a day, what a week for her. A new team, a win in the World Cup. It makes it 3 wins for Sukapolova in the World Cup overall over the course of her racing.
Maria, a tough racing today. How was it here in Sao Paulo for you, making it on the podium?
That's so good to be back to the podium, and that's my second winner in World Cup. And today I have goal, just take all I have and no risky. And I think I did it so clear and beauty.
A lot of spectators. How do you like the track here in Sao Paulo?
That it's so fast. Actually, it's like not my track, and today I think I most likely track.
Okay, but congratulations and enjoy your win.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Well, great to see the team from Sicaria there, the Sicaria BB Pro team celebrating her win as world champion in Sicaria, and now taking the win here. What a season for Maria Sukapolova, taking top spot. She takes away the race win from Marion Fromberger in second, and Marcela Lima Bratos taking away the third place. And Matos, the rider there on our right, on the left of the riders. You can see your top three there. Marcela Marcela, Marion and Maria. The top 3 riders here today at round 5 of the Mountain Bike Eliminator World Cup, one of the many disciplines covered by the UCI, the governing body. And as we see Lima Fromberger and Sukapalova make the way off and away, the congratulations continue to come down. Some brilliant racing in the women's competition. That will continue as they move onwards. It has to be said, I've just done a little bit of maths, which is never my strong point, and we can confirm that our race second place, Marion Fromberger, has sealed the win in the overall. By my calculations, I think she's taken away the win in the series and can't be touched when they go to Barcelona. Meanwhile, in the men's competition, Edwin Lin,
a
the
tough
world
season
champion,
for you,
made it
but
work.
back on the podium, on top of the podium here in Sao Paulo, how do you feel?
Finally, I was afraid that I was not gonna do a really good World Cup race this year, especially now that I got the rainbow jersey. I really want to step up the podium, and I'm so amazingly happy that it actually happened today.
It's a tough track here in Sao Paulo. How was it for you?
Oh yes, to be honest, a really tough day for me today. Legs felt like they weren't really there, so I just tried to lock in and just go on pure mental today, and they carried me.
Okay, enjoy your podium and good luck for Barcelona.
Thank you very much.
Well, the team, Nora rider from Sweden, Edwin Lin, the world champion, who took his title at the same place. We saw Sukapalova taking hers in Scaria, the rider centre stage today. You can see the congratulations coming out. A 3rd place here for Jeroen van Eyck, the Netherlands national champion. Brilliant riding by Kakosi there, the continental champion, making his way through, taking 2nd place here today. The rider from Brazil, second only to the world champion. Well, that's not anything to worry about. I don't think. Edwin Lind, experienced, powerful, and a rider who really wanted to take a win in his jersey. All those points will be added to the points in the World Cup standings. Overall, the riders gaining points for their time trial, 30 points down to 1, 60 points down to 1 for the race we've just seen. Those are the finals as they came in through. 60 points for the win in the finals, 40 for second, 30 for third, 25 for fourth. The minor finals, 20, 18, 16 and 14 points respectively. All those points will be added together and they will be added to their points totals, and those points totals very important as we go into that last round, because not all those points and positions are decided. We're going back to Barcelona, going up and down the steps around the fountains. You can see the women's preliminary World Cup standings, and these are subject to verification, but 505 points now for Marion Fromberger. The maximum points that could be taken away are 90 points from the next round. That's not going to happen, and it does mean that nobody's going to touch Fromberger up at the top of the standings, but the positions behind can well and truly change. Some amazing racing here at Sao Paulo. You can see the exhibition and the trade stands down here. You can indulge yourself in lots of great ways to get out on the bike. Some fantastic goodies. Who doesn't like looking around? You're looking for your next N+1 bike of whatever discipline that is. Some great brands coming down supporting the World Cup here. The mountain bike Eliminator, the XCE, powered by City Mountain Bike, making its way to Sao Paulo here for round 5 of the World Cup for 2025. As the spectators make their way around looking at those bikes, the riders will be getting ready to celebrate on their podiums. You can see plenty of riders from plenty of disciplines coming down. And what a great way to get a day out in Sao Paulo, this fantastic city playing host to the Mountain Biking World Cup, along with all of our host cities, to Shambi in Tajikistan, Leuven in Belgium, Arlen in Germany, Sakarya in Turkey, playing host to the World Cup and the World Championships this year, Sao Paulo in Brazil, here round 5, and of course we move to Barcelona in Spain to finish off the World Cup. That's going to be some very, very exciting riding and some very exciting racing as the riders go through. The men's standings on your screen, Jakub Klemenchik at the top of the series standings, but the gaps have come down. Jerome Van Eck in second place, moving over Simon Gegenheimer. Lind up into third, Series up into fourth. Gegenheimer dropping from second down into fifth place. All those standings on the UCI website, and of course on the City Mountain Bike website. Make sure you head over to www.citymountainbike.com. Click on to the race here at Sao Paulo. You can find a link to all of the results here today, the finals times, the positions of all the riders, and of course the series standings as we head away from round 5, heading for round 6. As you can see, the finals in the women's competition, well, Sukapalova, those rainbow bands have certainly given her some speed here today. On a track that she said she didn't like, she took top spot. A very different track to the one where Sukapalova and Lind took their world titles in the women's and men's competition in the Mountain Bike Eliminator World Cup. A much flatter track, a much faster track, but one that throws different technical skills and different requirements at our riders, different ways to win here in Sao Paulo. It's been amazing racing here today. I hope you've really enjoyed it. My name's Matt Payne. It's been a pleasure putting words to the action once again. Emma, my co-host Emma Martin, will be back with us currently on stage race duty this week on the My Whoosh race, the My Whoosh Championships, the $1 million race that is taking place, and 2 more stages to go. So Emma will be back, I'm sure, on the mic there, and we'll be back with us for Barcelona in Spain in October. It's the 11th of October to wrap up the series. I hope you will be joining us for the racing there. In the meantime, grab yourself a mountain bike, get yourself out onto the trails, the tracks, whatever type of biking that you like. I hope you've been inspired to get your bike out and get a ride in. Fantastic racing, fantastic to see you here today. Time for me to say, stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bom, aquelas organizações fazendo uma especial.